What's going on, guys? PXCam20 back again with a brand new video. We are here at my favorite racetrack, Fuji International Speedway, as we are here for a brand new week of daily races for Daily Race C, as this is a 12-lap race, 2 compound race, so we are given the mediums and the hards, which are both required. So we are here in our Viper. We were able to get a 138.0, but we're trying to get it down to a 137. Unfortunately, I just was unable to, but we're getting very close. So you can see we're only a few thousandths of a second off from hitting a 137. So hopefully we can get that towards a little later in the week, and hopefully one day we can get the 136 like the guy in pole position. So coming to the race, I was feeling very confident. Again, this is my favorite racetrack, so I love racing here, and I'm gonna show you guys why on this video, why this is probably one of the best racetracks on GT Sport. But not only that, we're using the Viper here, as I just felt a lot more comfortable with the Viper. It's a lot better on the corners, but there's a lot of different varieties of cars that you guys can actually use to be really fast on this racetrack. You see there's a plethora of cars all over the spectrum here on this racetrack. But yeah, let's jump straight into the race. Now, before we jump into it, if you guys really enjoy the content, we're trying to reach a goal of 10,000 subscribers before the end of the year. So if you guys enjoy the content, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the video, as it really helps out the channel when you guys do so. Anyways, that's enough promoting myself. Let's jump straight into the video. Now, as we jump into the race, we're getting our 3, 2, 1, and we are a go as we set our brake bias to a 0, as I just felt a lot more comfortable on the 0 as we fast forward to the first corner. Coming to the first corner, everything goes very smoothly. As you can see, the Canadians ahead of us are just rocketing away from us, going down into turn number 2, into turn number 3. So following them on the slipstream as we head into turn number 3, we're just going to bide our time here, follow them, and hopefully stay with the slipstream and just see if we can stay with them and try to make a last minute move towards the end of the race, or hopefully capitalize on any mistakes that they do as we come out of the right-hander. So coming to turn number 6 here, we're going to the left-hander here as we get a little bit loose, get on the curbs right there, and it kind of gets us a little loose. But coming out of the corner, we get very wide, and we are now on the apron of the track as we go wide again, as we're just trying to get grip again, but the grass is just killing our tires there as we're coming into Dunlop chicane. Coming to chicane of turn number 10, you see the car goes onto the inside, and the Viper of the Brazilian was able to make an overtake on us, as we are now demoted into 4th place because of our costly mistake going down that one part of the racetrack before turn number 10. But coming to the right hand, the Argentinian makes the overtake on us in his Mercedes. So now from 3rd to 5th, we actually are the ones that make the mistake, and we get punished by that, as we are now in 5th place behind the Mercedes as we come into the final corner of lap number 1. So coming to the final corner of lap number 1, we're just going to follow right here the Argentinian, see if we can get around him, as I feel like I was a little bit faster than both the cars ahead of us, but it was just so difficult to get around this Argentinian, as you guys are going to see right here. So coming down the straightaway here on lap number 2, going to lap number 3, we go onto the outside, but we accidentally mistime it, and we make a little bit of contact with the Argentinian, as we actually propelled him a little more forward and give him a little bit of a tap there to help him out. But going into the first corner, we brake as late as we can, but the Mercedes actually releases the brakes, and he is able to get back up to us and make the overtake now as we go onto the grass there, almost making contact with him as we come into that right-hander kink. But we are stuck in 5th place here again as we come into the left-hander, now heading into the right-hander of turn 4 and 5. So fast forwarding here as we come out of turn number 6 now, following the Argentinian as we come down the short little straightaway heading into Dunlop chicane. We're following him now as we come into the chicane, and we just try to look onto the inside, just give him a little peek to tell him that, you know, we're still there, we're coming to you. If you make a mistake, we're gonna make a overtake on you. But you can see that he's just lagging all over the place here, so it's a little worrying because I don't want to make a move and not know if he's there or if he's not there because of the lag. But we're just gonna keep putting pressure on him as we come into the 3rd sector here and see if we can get around him. As you can see, we have a lot more pace in him as we come into the final corner here. So jump into the final corner, we're still on this back bumper here as we're going to try to go onto the inside, but we just stay behind the slipstream here, as staying behind the slipstream is going to be the best thing to do on this racetrack, and just try to make a move onto turn number 1. As you can see, he's going onto the outside. We try to make a move onto the inside as we're getting closer and closer to the wall. We almost make contact with the wall as we go straight back into the racetrack, and the Mercedes try to hold us down there as we almost make contact with, well, we did make contact with him, but we almost spun him out as we head into turn number 1. Coming to turn number 1, the Mercedes actually pushes us out wide, and we get rammed out as we get demoted back into 5th place. and we have to follow back to Mercedes as we come back to the replay. Going to the replay, we give him plenty of space, but he just brakes very, very late and just bumps us out wide, and he's able to hold us off there as we are stuck in 5th place. And now this is starting to get a little aggravating here as we're just trying to get around the Argentinian, and we are unable to here as you can see he's just holding us up compared to 3rd place. His 3rd place and basically 1st and 2nd are able to get away from us. So coming to his right-hander here, we're trying to make a move onto the inside, a little bit desperate there, but we're able to sneak our nose in there as we go into the outside, going into the inside now as we make a cutback going into turn number 6. You can see the Argentina is still, you know, lagging all over the place, so we're just trying to bide our time and just trying to figure out, okay, where is this car even at as we come into this little short straightaway heading to Dunlop chicane. So coming to the Dunlop chicane, we're trying to make a move onto the inside, but we got to back out of there as there was just no space there, and we follow him again into the chicane as we are just going left and right, trying to find any way to get around this Argentinian as we're now heading into the 3rd sector. So jump into the 3rd sector, staying right behind the Argentinian as we are still on his back bumper. We're just trying to find any time here as he gets a little bit loose coming to the left-hander, and he is able to get a better exit coming out of that left-hander as we come into lap number 5. So jump into lap number 5, we get again a good slipstream going down the straightaway, going into turn number 1. We're moving on to the outside as we're going to try to cut back onto the inside, but he parks on the apex and we make contact with him, so we actually bump him forward, so help him out as we come into turn number 3. Staying right behind him on the slipstream, going into turn number 3. We're just going to brake very easily as we're going to try to get a good exit here and hopefully try to make a move onto turn number 6 here and try to get a good couple of corners. So stringing along a couple good corners. He actually brakes very, very early, and not sure why he braked there as it kind of broke my concentration. I tried to move out of the way to avoid making contact with him, and you can see the penalty that we actually paid for that. As you can, we lost about half a second there, but luckily on the next lap we were able to catch right back up to the Mercedes, and look at that, we're going back into the right-handers, and we make contact with him as he brakes again, going into the right-handers, leading into turn number 6. And you can see we're just catching up to him again as we're making a move onto the inside. He gets a little bit loose coming out of that corner, and it's now going to be a drag race as we come into turn number 10. Going side by side here as we're going into the Dunlop chicane. Who's going to be able to outbrake each other first? As we brake as late as we can going to the Dunlop chicane, he outbrakes us, and we try to make a cutback, but again he just parks onto the apex, and we make contact with his back bumper again. So we're going to see if we can try to make a move again on the straightaway as we come into lap number 7. So coming to the straightaway, he's actually going to come into the pits, so not sure why he's coming into the pits so early, but what I noticed is that once he came into the pits, he was actually on the hard, so that's actually going to mess us up because we were on the mediums for our first compound. So since he was on the hard, all he has to do is just get on the mediums, get a couple of good laps, and he should be able to overtake us as he just held us up on the hards. And he did he did a good job holding us up as he was defending every single corner and making sure that we were staying behind him as we come out of the pits. So coming out of the pits, you can see the Argentinian was able to overtake us and the Brazilian as he was able to undercut us and get onto the mediums and put some fast laps as we are now, well, not now, but we're still demoted in 5th place here as we're trying to catch up to the Brazilians. So speeding up here on the middle sector, we're coming down to turn number 8, 9, and 10 as we're coming right behind the Brazilian. Staying right behind the Brazilian, we're trying to make a move on to the inside, but he's going to cover us there. So we're going to go onto the outside and try to outbrake him as we're both using the same car, the Viper. Trying to make a move onto the inside, he actually cuts us off, and we have to back out of the move there. If not, we would make contact with him, and we have to fall back in line in 5th place there as we're going to try to look for another opportunity to make a move around the Brazilian and hopefully at least secure a 4th place position here as we come down the straightaway. So coming down the straightaway here, another car comes out of the pits, so we were in 4th for a bit, but we go into the inside here, coming to turn number 1. We try to break as late as we can, and we're going to try to make the move going into turn number 1. The Brazilian goes back onto us, and we're able to park on the apex, and we make a great overtake there as we come out of turn number 1. Going back to the replay, we're all the way onto the apron. We're trying to, you know, keep it onto the inside there as we just brake as late as we can. The Brazilian tries to make an undercut, but luckily we were able to park on the apex, and we are able to regain 4th place there as we come into turn number 2 and to turn number 3. But coming into turn number 3, the Brazilian gets a really good exit, and he's going to move it onto the inside as we come to turn number 3, and he's able to re-overtake us there as we have to let him go. If now we would have made contact with him, and he is able to reclaim 4th place now as we're going to try to go around him in another place of the track before the end of the race. As you can see, we only have 3 laps left now. So coming to turn number 6, staying right behind the Brazilian as we're staying on his back bumper, staying in the slipstream. We're going to see if we can get a good run here going into turn number 10 and try to outbrake him and hopefully make an overtake on turn number 10. But we're following him now as we come into the Dunlop chicane. Brake as late as you can right underneath the Dunlop board. And the Brazilian actually outbrakes himself as we're able to cut into the inside, go onto the outside, stay on the outside. Then we make a little bit of contact as we go onto the grass, and the Brazilian gets a little bit loose because of that contact, and we're trying to go back into the inside, but we have to back out of there. As you can see now, there's another Brazilian catching up to us as we are stuck in a Brazilian sandwich, as we have the Viper ahead of us and the GTR behind us, as the GTR behind us is now trying to make a move onto the inside as we come into the final corner. Coming to the final corner, the Brazilian actually goes very, very wide, hits the rumble strip, makes a costly mistake, and we're able to overtake him and get 4th place now as he messed up right there, and we were able to capitalize on his mistake now. But we are now getting pressured by the GTR behind us as we're coming down the straightaway, taking a page out of the Argentinians' books there as we are moving on to the inside, covering our position as we're going side by side now, going down the straightaway. Who's going to make it to the first corner as we are going side by side, braking as late as we can as we come into the first corner. We're going to try to park onto the apex as we're able to make it to the apex. Coming out the corner, we actually get tapped from behind. The GTR spins us out, and we get pushed down into the grass as we are now losing 4th and 5th place there as the Brazilian in the GTR just took us out coming into the first corner. Coming to the first corner, you can see right here, he tries to make a cutback and just slams into us, just gasses it up too early, misjudges it, slams us out of the way, punts us out, and we get basically demoted all the way back into 6th place as we were in 4th place fighting for the Brazilian for 4th, but now we are demoted into 6th place as we are now coming to the final lap. So coming to the final lap, we're still in 6th place as the GTR was able to get around the Viper, and we are just trying to catch up to the Viper here. As you can see, he's going very, very slowly as we were able to make about a second or two on this lap alone. So we're just trying to catch up to the Viper here, trying to see if we can force him into a mistake, but coming out of the final corner, we're going to run out of time. And unfortunately, after all the circumstances and fighting for a podium and looking to get a good finish off of this race, we actually finished in 6th place because of a costly mistake in turn 1, or not turn 1, but on lap 1, and other mistakes that I made along the race. So very, very disappointing, as I thought we were going to be able to get a podium, maybe fight for a 2nd or 1st place, but we actually finished this race in 6th place as we did get held up by the Argentinian majority of the race, and that was very, very costly for us as we just abused our medium tires, and the Argentinian was able to get away scot-free on his hard tires and then just undercut us when he came into the pits and went on to the medium. So again, very disappointing to get a 6th place position, but hopefully we can come back with, you know, a vengeance, get a podium, or if not, a win on this racetrack before the week is over. So I hope you guys really enjoyed that video. If you guys did, please subscribe and leave a like on the video. It really helps out the channel when you guys do so, and I hope to see you guys on the next one. Peace out.